In order to become a Shopify dropshipping millionaire, you must think and most importantly, act like one. What's poppin' YouTube? My name is Yash and I am a 24-year-old digital marketer and e-commerce entrepreneur from New York City. I want to say that it wasn't always sexy Shopify dashboards, fancy dinners, first-class flights, and exclusive vacations for me. Through trial and error and tribulations over the past 5 years, I learned and developed and formed these 5 habits that got me where I am today. The exact 5 habits that I'm going to share in this video today. So, ladies and gents, it's important to understand that through every little action you guys go ahead and take, that's ultimately going to form a ripple effect and influence the future habits you guys go ahead and take, which, ideally form into your day-to-day habits. And this is known as the butterfly effect. Ideally, it's when you implement one or more actions consistently, which over time manifest themselves into something more larger, right? Meaning the outcome that is actually produced. With that being said, this first habit is truly the base and foundation of everything. Without being able to successfully implement this habit, it'll be very difficult to go ahead and implement the other 4 habits that I'll mention later on during the video. Alright, so let me stop gatekeeping. That first habit is consistency, or just being consistent in general. Nobody said that entrepreneurship was supposed to be easy. I mean, if it was, everyone would not only be attempting one, but everyone would also be successful. Now, just as a quick note, some of the things that I'll say in this video, you may or may not want to hear, right? But it's really important to stay true to yourself. So with that being said, what really matters, ladies and gents, is showing up every single day. Even though I'm super blessed and grateful to have a team around me for my digital marketing agency, for some of my Shopify brands, I still work 40 to 50 weeks of the year, and that also includes weekends. Now, this is of course because I want to, right? I'm choosing to work. So again, that's the whole purpose of it, right? Not being complacent and showing up every single day. You're going to have days where you don't feel motivated, and that's completely normal, right? I have them and you may have them as well. Now, the funny thing is that once you start showing up every day, that consistency, that habit that you're forming, that will eventually auto-fuel your motivation. Trust me when I say that. It's almost like you feel a little off or you feel a little uneasy when you don't work that day, right? And I'm not saying that every day you have to put in those 10, 12, 15, 17 hours of work, but as long as you show up every single day, do what you're supposed to do, that's all that really matters. There's also this super interesting quote, and it goes something like, hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. So just let that sink in a little bit. Entrepreneurship is the path or the avenue less taken, and you have to be willing to work a few years of your life like most people won't, so then you can live the rest of your life like most people can't.
It's facts! It's facts! It's not facts. These sites is not facts. It's not facts.
Now, really quickly, do me a favor. If you're someone who's an athlete or someone who's into fitness, someone who works out, go ahead and drop a like on this video. I mean, regardless, you should definitely drop a like so it does help out the YouTube algorithm. But if you're especially someone who's an athlete, someone who's always been working out, definitely go ahead and drop that like. Reason I'm asking is because if you're an athlete or if you're a gym rat, I know for a fact you guys will go ahead and go to the gym even on the days you guys are tired or feeling unmotivated. Trust me, I can relate to this because over the past 12 to 18 months, working out, lifting has become a huge part of my life, right? I kind of had this whole phase where I went through depression and stuff after, a really long relationship, so on and so forth. That's a story for another time. But like I said, it's been a huge part of my life, and it's really contributed to my personal life and my business in such good ways. And this is exactly the second habit that I am talking about. All right, so let's keep it simple for this. We all know that working out and staying active is good for you, but it also decreases stress, right? Stress you may have during the day, so going to the gym definitely helps. And on top of that, you can also really lift off, those limitations that you have set for yourself in the gym. For example, imagine pushing, on that last rep, on that last set when you're bench pressing. You know that you're gonna try and lift that bar, lift those weights as best and as hard as you can. It really shapes and builds your mind and body into a sharper tool, and knowing and feeling that genuinely will definitely raise that self-esteem you have for yourself. So besides, working wonders for your self-esteem and whatnot and your confidence, it'll also give you an opportunity to socialize. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, right? Building businesses is a very lonely journey, especially when you're still getting up to the top. You may be home all day in your office or your room, glued to your laptop all day. This really limits the socialization that you will go ahead and have. By going to the gym, you can allow yourself to see and hear other people, converse yourself with with other people. And on top of that, who does not want to look good at the beach? Think about it this way. Imagine not reaching your full potential with your business, right? Now apply that with yourself, with your body. Imagine living your entire life without really knowing the peak of your endurance, your strength, your physique, right? Would you live your entire life without knowing that, without really knowing what's possible and where you can really go ahead and maximize your results? So I was supposed to start filming this YouTube video right here, the one that you guys are watching, around 4 p.m. and that's exactly when I started.
Nice.
I did that, and I was able to do that more importantly because I set time blocks for myself every single day the night before. Voila, the third habit. Setting time blocks prior, the night before, for example, is so simple and so effective to say the least. This keeps you accountable throughout the entire day for both your business and your personal tasks. With this, you can get fancy and utilize Google Calendar, a paid option like Notion, which by the way is a great software, but just not for me. You can go old school and jot them down on a pen and paper. I personally just use notes on my iPhone. So yeah, there's no wrong or right way of doing this, but this is basically, my to-do list for today, as you guys can see. As I go through my day, I basically check mark them off so I know they are completed. But this is absolutely a great habit for accountability. Like I said, I really prefer doing this the night before, so you really know what's laid out on the map the morning of when you do wake up. With building businesses and entrepreneurship in general, not every day is going to be picture perfect. There's going to be days with hurdles and roadblocks and challenges, but that is all a part of it. Instead, learn to embrace these drawbacks and be flexible. It's important to pivot and adapt where and when needed. At the end of the day, this is the game of the fittest. Or wait, is it the survival of the fittest? But you guys know what I mean. Anyway, what I'm saying is take a few minutes out of your night and implement this. Not only will it help you be more organized and more productive, but the biggest benefit is that when you actually see visual tasks that you have to go ahead and complete in front of you, it will definitely save you time and miss out on the guessing game. All right, so let's switch gears here for a little bit and talk more specifically about dropshipping. Let's get into some of the technical side of things. I genuinely believe that this one thing has propelled me further ever since I started doing it weekly, and that is nothing but repetition. Dropshipping is made up of a multitude of components, and within these components are skills and sub-skills. For example, a component is advertising. Within advertising, you have Facebook ads, for example, right? Within Facebook ads, sub-skills include learning how to read and how to familiarize yourself with the, ad account, making guided, engaged decisions based on the metrics. So all of these skills and sub-skills, you need to go ahead and constantly train and strengthen, which is only possible through repetition. This is just like riding a bike, right? When you're initially learning how to ride a bike, maybe as a kid or maybe even recently for some of you guys, how do you get better? By doing it over and over and over again, right? You may fall, you may not go as fast, but once you do it more and more and more, you'll get really good at it at the end of the day. So this is something that you should definitely get into the habit of. For example, let's say your goal is to test, 3 products a week for your Shopify store. Besides only doing the product description, the product pages for those 3 products, why not take an additional 2 or 3 products and also do the product pages for them? This is for your sake. This is where the repetition comes into play. You have to be willing to do these little things that most people won't be willing to do in this game in order to run as far as possible and as quickly as possible. Put in the ample time that's needed because you yourself genuinely care to improve on these weaknesses. And again, like I said, this is what will truly separate you from the guy next to you attempting to also try Shopify dropshipping. Each time you'll be able to implement that feedback and put it into action for yourself. And doing this every single week, doing product description, doing product pages for other products, you'll become more comfortable and more adept with this skill itself. And the same thing applies to all the other skills within dropshipping. And all I'm gonna say, maybe think of it as a hint or whatever you guys want, but copywriting is so important. Understanding human psychology, your ideal customer, that audience persona is so important, and it is definitely a very untalked about skill in this space. All right, so next what I want y'all to do, if you're on a computer, look around it, right? Just examine your screen, what's in front of you right now. Might sound a little strange because obviously you guys are hearing me talk and watching this video right now, but what I want y'all to do is really examine the screen and see if there's any other tabs or browsers open that you guys don't need right now. More than likely, you probably do if I were to take a very good guess. And if I were you, I would definitely close these tabs, as you need to be removing distractions where and when needed. For example, right now you're educating yourself. You are, taking in information by watching this video because you guys want to get better at e-commerce, at Shopify dropshipping. You guys want to become a better and well-versed entrepreneur in the game. I bet so many different distractions go unnoticed when you are actually working. Don't feel bad, but again, this is just something you have to realize. Really be aware about these kinds of things. The biggest one being on this guy right here, your phone. And I get it, as being digital nomads, entrepreneurs, digital marketers more so, you may have to go on your phone, more specifically social media. Use your phone only when you truly have to and when you need to. Put it in another room, put it in your drawer. That actually reminds me of a very cool dropshipping product that popped off not too long ago. Food for thought, I'll put it somewhere on the video right over here. Removing distractions and sitting down for your work session with none will have you accomplish so much more. Focus on what you only truly need to for that time being. Nothing else should matter. You need that discipline and you need that laser focus. You should also be keeping a clean work environment, right? I always like to keep my desk super neat, my office super neat. Remove all the clutter that you don't have. Try all these things next time and see how much you can actually accomplish in a 90-minute, hour and a half, deep, pure focus work session. People will always say like, hey, I just worked 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, but are they really working?
Stop the cap.
You can accomplish so much more without all these distractions and a clean work environment in a 90-minute, deep, pure focus work session. But hey, don't feel bad, because if you're not going to call yourself out, then I am. I want you guys to implement, these 5 traits, habits, lessons, whatever you like to really call them, in the new year of 2023. And if you are watching this and it's halfway down the year or more, if you're even watching this in 2024 or onwards, it doesn't really matter, quite frankly. It's never too late to start implementing good habits. And I say that because there's good news, right? Once you start implementing these, they'll only carry forward on to the next week, the next month, and the next year. They will eventually really become a part of your lifestyle. And also, if you have been already implementing one or more of these habits already, maybe for a few months, a few years, whatever it really may be, I'm curious to know. So drop it in the comments down below, as well as any other question, thoughts, or concerns you may have. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Until the next one, your boy's out. Peace.